I have to tie it to what happened in November of 2024. Trump won. And it was the end of the fever swamp we were in. Mm-hmm. It was the end. It was like the unofficial or maybe the official end of all that nonsense, which has been dwindling ever since and will continue to dwindle. But it was the American people in part saying, we're done with that bullshit. We're not doing it anymore. And in some ways, it too was the return of people being attractive. You know, the magazine cover on New York Magazine, they tried to shame the MAGA Republicans. And it was all these young beauties, all these gorgeous young women and gorgeous young men, like leaning into looking good and dressing well and celebrating their youth and their virality. Like, fucking it. We're not going to be shamed out of that stuff anymore.
Well, you know, Megyn, political types don't like beauty because it can't be subjugated to slogans. It's something that either works or it doesn't. It's the same reason they don't like comedy. It's either funny or it's not. You're either beautiful or you're not. And you can't subordinate that to agendas and issues and other things. It tells us we're alive first and political second. And people who want us to be political first simply don't like its power.
Yeah, well, it's attractiveness is nice for sure. People like to look at it, at attractive people, but also extremely attractive are clever people who are smart, very attractive, irrespective of the looks. If you find a clever person who has a smart brain, that's good. That's a good person to marry. And what we see on the left is that they've abandoned that. Like, that's the whole thing with Stephen Colbert. He actually isn't clever. You listen to his jokes, they're not clever. Maybe he's smart. I have seen no evidence of it. He goes for like the cheapest, most obvious jokes about Trump that only make people clap, not laugh. All he uses are the applause and the laugh tracks. He's using laugh tracks on that show because no one's actually laughing. It's like, as opposed to take a Greg Gutfeld, who is clever and brilliant. And that's why he works. That's why that show has lasted, unlike the Colbert. But all those things are back in style now. You can be irreverent. You can be witty. You can unleash it. You can be inappropriate. If it's funny, go for it. What you can't be is dull, boring, and unattractive is not really a bonus in life. Let's face it.
Well, I just hope that Sydney Sweeney does what Elizabeth Taylor did and marries or at least starts going out with somebody like Mickey Rooney, a very small but incredibly witty person.
Yes.
I'd hope that she dates a writer, in fact, or, you know, at least a witty podcaster.
Or what about Angelina Jolie when she was with Billy Bob Thornton, who... Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, Sydney already has a rather homely and somewhat masculine first name, and I think that adds to her beauty. I think she should go out with a 4'11" writer, and she'll be absolutely blazingly gorgeous by comparison.
She just gives hope a chance to all those men out there. It's possible for them too. Well, I think it's great because I'm sick and tired of those ads. I'm sick and tired of being told that we're not allowed to think this way. And I'm going to toss it now to our pal Gaj Sad, who, like no one else, can make us laugh in these moments with his, in this video, literal self-flagellation over the wrong think in enjoying Sydney Sweeney. Watch this.
I listened, I stopped, I learned, and now I would like to look what I got. It's been a while since I brought out the whip of self-loathing. Rachel Levine is more beautiful. Lizzo is more beautiful. Dylan Mulvaney is more beautiful. Joy Behar is more beautiful than Sydney Sweeney. My wife just showed me a photo of Sydney Sweeney. I became impotent.
Man, he really takes a whack at himself. Though you can't fake that snap of the whip.
He really leaned in on that one, but he's so good.
Yeah, he did.
That's really what we've been asked. Rachel Levine, he's right. Rachel Levine was held up as like this standard to which we needed to aspire. The first female admiral ever to be elevated to that level of government. That disgusting looking man in a blonde, I don't know if it was a wig or if it's just bad blonde male hair, but it was ridiculous. And Lizzo, okay, it's fine. Lizzo's had massive weight problems and is obviously now on the shot or on a weight loss plan. Good for her. I'm glad she's losing the weight. But why did we have to pretend that we thought the enormously morbidly obese version of her was incredibly sexy and beautiful? We didn't. A very, very small percentage of Americans found that sexy and beautiful. Fucking A. Why can't we say it? I'm sick of this bullshit. Jordan Peterson literally got called in front of the Psychiatric Association of Canada and threatened with losing his license because he was making posts about things like that. It wasn't Lizzo, but it was someone like that saying, I don't agree with this beauty standard. I don't find this beautiful. It was like one of those Sports Illustrated models who was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, the ultimate depiction of fitness and beauty for decades, which went super fat instead and wanted us to have the same reaction.
Are you about to put up a video or is it my turn?
No, it's just your turn. I just decided not to put a video. No one needs to see that.
Okay. Well, I mean, how could America be more hypocritical? I'm sorry, but this is a country in which, online pornography is rampant, all sorts of forms of sexuality that are hidden away and, pushed onto phones and so on. Now we get to kind of enjoy it out in the open with a clothed person. I think that's a gain for morality, frankly, that we can all sort of bring it back into the public square. Because during those times when we were asked to look at Rachel Levine and so on, I would think there were a lot of young men who were furtively going somewhere else to get their.
Sports Illustrated actually had a trans person in its magazine. It was a man posing as a woman in a teeny weeny bikini. And they wanted American men to look at that and be sexually aroused. And by the way, if you weren't, then you were a transphobe. That's actually what the left has been telling us.
And that's cruel, actually. That's brutal. To use people's sexuality against them. In other words, to force them to, pretend to admire things they don't and force them to hide things that they do admire. Isn't that what was done to gay people? Don't we deplore the fact that they had to be in the closet? Why should heterosexual men who were interested in the likes of Sidney Sweeney have had to hide in closets these last few years? Let's celebrate coming back out into the open.
It's like, I'm over it. Like Bridgerton, all the white royalty had to be made into people of color. It's like, this is, and by the way, you can never satisfy the mob because the mob didn't like what they did in Bridgerton, because I actually wrote this down, because they complained that notwithstanding the fact that they made black actors play traditionally, actual white historical characters, it still centers around a, quote, primarily white narrative. Well, it's about white people who existed. So yeah, whatever happened in their lives, I guess by definition will be a white narrative. What are we supposed to do? Like, how are we supposed to change it? I hesitate to even think to satisfy that we have to make the white people story a black narrative. It's just ridiculous. So the Sydney Sweeney ad and the fact that it was done, the fact that it's so successful and it's driving up sales is yet another declaration that the era of woke is dead. It's over. It officially died in November of 2024. And now you are just getting your fingers on the pulse and realizing it's no longer beating. Wokesters, come on over, back to normalcy. Since President Trump was sworn in, his administration has made enormous progress at a breakneck pace. But don't forget, while they are moving mountains for the good of the nation, you've got your personal savings to worry about. And one of the best ways to look after your savings is through diversification, particularly with gold, like from Birch Gold Group. In the past 12 months, the value of gold has increased by 40%. And Birch was an advertiser on this show 12 months ago. If you had purchased then, you'd be 40% richer today. Now's the time. Central banks continue to bolster demand for gold by burying in record quantities. Global instability and tension is high, and Birch Gold makes owning physical gold so easy. Easily convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or buy some to store in your home safe. Just text MK to the number 989898, and Birch Gold is going to send you a free info kit on gold. Look into it, see if it's right for you. There's no obligation, just useful information to help you make a decision. With an A+ rating, with a Better Business Bureau, and tens of thousands of happy customers, take control of your savings today. Text MK to 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.